All right, y'all, what's up? Welcome to the Wednesday Bookmap stream. It is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025, and we're going to get cracking. Let's take a look at the charts here. NASDAQ just dumped back over to 165 and bottom wick back up. ES just dumped back over to the low of the day, and then they bottom wicked back up. I have got to mute these. 1 second. I don't know. All right. Anyway, 63.31. Still holding this area. NASDAQ is heading back down. What are they going to do? Give this up again. More absorption. $63.31, 193, down to 137. Right now, no additional movement. Very back and forth day. So liquidity on Bookmap currently on NASDAQ is down to 23,132, but they just cut it mostly off the books. That was decently large, now it's gone. And that is pretty much it on NASDAQ except for 350. ES has 335, 360, 320, 63.13, and that's it. So just back and forth. Not a lot going on here. I've taken one single trade today, and that is it. And right now we're it looks like they're trying to bounce it again to go from there. Let's settle in for the midday, midweek session, which is a whole bunch of nothingness normally. The liquidity is coming back on at 63.20. Looking around. 63.40 right here. We have 450 million in puts, but they're being sold, and they're now back to buying calls again. So this is a range day. They're buying the bottom, selling the top, and that's how I would play it until otherwise stated. We have high volume at the bottom here, so high volume again, leading the way. Bottom wick after putting a new low in. And they put a new low in just before we set the morning range. So the morning range is now set slightly larger than it was at the start. Back and forth. Big green move. This is garbage. Yep. Range day back up. Overall, dealing with about a 15, 20 point range on ES. NASDAQ is about doing the same. This liquidity down here at 63.20 continues to come on and off the books. So I see that. I see a low confidence book. I see there's no real true skew at the moment. They're just orders coming off and on. The price action is very wicky back and forth. It's whatever. Big green candles. What's y'all's thoughts on NVIDIA? I mean, NVIDIA's obviously been still holding up the market, just like it's been doing now for years. Been straight up now. They've barely even participated in this little the mini correction, I guess you can call it. So they're still doing their thing. Did you see that? I think the CEO posted that 50% of their employees are worth more than 25 million. That's insane to think about. Has there ever been a company to drive that much wealth towards their employees? It's crazy stuff. Congress. Fantastic. I love it. Well done. 3Cs here. Well, we do have high volume inflow at the 1020 candle, and they finally just took out the prior at 63.38 on the S&P. So technically, yes, we do have the three criteria here, but not really interested in doing much here in this market. It looks like we're going to get that 63.50, so we probably have potential for another 7 points up or so on the ES. Oh, man. 3-quarter turn on the 5-minute is not super great in my opinion. It feels like almost needs to be 15. Nah, I disagree. It just depends on the market. If you have an extremely high volume inflow on the 5 at a strong level, again, the level, it's very, very valuable to get you in early. And then, of course, the 15 obviously gives you a greater degree of confidence, but it's situational dependent. I do agree that most of the time the higher time frames are a better process. But there are times that if you're coming down to a major level, key word there, like today we're not even touching a major level, so there's nothing here to really go crazy over. And you see a high volume inflow on the 5-minute, it can get you into a very early, very profitable entry. The 5-minute is the 5-minute volume is incredibly valuable when applied correctly. $63.45. It appears ES wants to grab this 50 here, which is only a few points up. But we're playing with a range day here, so understand. Range day. OpenAI CEO announced that ChatGPT will be made available to federal workers at the cost of $1 per year. Because that's what we need. More reason for them to do less. Range days and texts are a lot more fun than this. Heck yeah. The options book has been back and forth all day. So major call buying and call selling over and over and over again. Puts have been pretty steady negative, although they're doing their own variation of buying and selling. It's been steady. ES tilt 59% long. Nice. Nice. Thoughts on a short if today's high is touched? Well, the issue here, Brandon, is that we have a little bit of a divergence. NASDAQ has already blasted through all their overnight levels and yesterday's little afternoon pivot. So it all depends on who catches up to whom. If ES comes up and taps their overnight high, then most likely that means NASDAQ is going to come up and touch yesterday's complete high, the session high. So it's really at what point do you try to play the rejection? So I would probably say it's likely that ES will reject the overnight highs if they touch it, but that's still 12 points higher. And at which point we will look for a 3 criteria top wick on the 5 leading into the 15. We just had some crude oil inventories here on oil, and they still haven't come down to touch my target yet, so that's okay. And gold's still flying. Got 55% on a short this AM, but considering go for another. Nice. Very cool. $63.50 is still the skew on the book for ES. Let's let that fill and then see what happens. Yep. 643 million in calls, 538 million in puts, and we're back and forth. So, right now, the play is to play the range. On top Wick. A little top Wick. Would be wicked if you could hold props positions for a days. I would assume that that's where the market's going to go because prop firms are continually reinventing and adding rules and making things better. I think that's eventually where they're going to have to go if they want to be competitive. The closer they get to a real actual brokerage firm, I think the better they're going to do. Heck, I've even thought about tossing around an idea to start one based on the ideas that I've got. If I had the capital, I'd probably do it. You don't have to make a bunch of crazy rules to get traders to fail. 95% of traders are going to fail anyway, so once you have them sign up for yours because you've got good rules. Want help? I do. You got about 10 mil you want to give me for some capital? I'll start a prop firm. No rules, 80-20 split. No evaluation, straight to funded. That's my shtick. Zero rules. The rules are there are no rules. But the catch is 80-20. It stays at 80-20. Isn't that a rule? Yeah, probably. A little bit of red here. Just very, very small amount of red. If everyone blows up and you go straight to funded, how do you decipher who to stake and who to take profits from? Well, I mean, I guess I see your point. But as long as they have a good track record, that should have taken care of itself. I could have an eval phase, yeah. But the eval phase wouldn't have any rules either, so it would just be them passing a test. As long as you've not blown up the account, yeah. A little bit of red dropping back over once again. Still playing the same old things. Range days. I've wondered how a prop firm would do if long term, if part of their funded accounts profit was you take more of their profits each month, you don't blow it up. No resets. I don't know. I thought when I first heard of prop firms, I thought it was going to be a fad, but they not only have taken off, but I feel like that the entire retail trading space has switched it over to props. There's no more options trading. There's no more brokerage accounts. It's all prop firms. Dumb question, but do you pay the subscription fee for props? No. So once you get funded, that goes away. And there shouldn't be any additional fees except for the market data. Brokers must hate it. I'm sure they do. I feel like many of these prop firm investors' money isn't from Wall Street. It probably is. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's the easiest money in the world. If I had the capital, I would 100% start one. It's a win-win situation. On one hand, the jabronis that reset every day are going to get you paid. On the other hand, if you find a good trader who's going to trade well, he's going to pay you the split. I mean, it's a beautiful business model. Green move up to the top of the range here, 63.60. ES is climbing, 63.53, new high of the day. It looks like they're going to go for overnight levels, baby. Green, green, green. They just spiked up to $1 billion in calls right there. And they sold off all the puts. Am I still going to do a video on prop firm rules? Yeah, I am. Yep. .30-point bounce on the S&P after a 3 criteria confirmation up into the highs. NASDAQ is flying. They took out their new high of the day. We have the skew up to 65 and 60 on ES, so the book is still winning up to the upside, although light, and we have 350 on NASDAQ. Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth. Time to pop lock and drop it. Oh yeah. $280. So that's that fake out. They put that thrust higher, they top wicket expecting everyone to short off the highs, and then they buy it right on back up. It's a tale as old as time. So what are your thoughts once it touches the overnight high, yesterday's high? See what it happens. Do I get, my first question I get, or the first question I'm going to ask myself is, do we have volume? If ES comes up and touches 63.58, do we have volume? If the answer is yes, do we have a wick? If the answer is yes, then it might be time to take at least a short opportunity or take the long off the book. However, we have this divergence here where NASDAQ is pulling higher and the S&P is catching up. We have a skewed book and have the options chain that's a little indecisive here. We're back and forth between aggressive buying and aggressive selling, so which is typical of just a choppier day. But this is turning into a rather extended bounce. We have already a 30-point bounce on the ES, which is nice. That's not small movement. 30 points in the S&P is nice. $23,350. Be careful of 63, 29, 75. That's a very specific level. Why that one? I think my experience trading the TPT accounts has been great and has shown me I need to be disciplined and focused to stay with their trading requirements. However, if the capital, I would rather trade my own money in my own accounts. Oh, 100%. Except to trade multiple accounts with small IRB card would require a lot more capital. But I've been learning about how NinjaTrader only requires $50 minimum for micros and $500 minimum for minis. Me thinking right now is that if I can show consistent and profitable TPT accounts, I'll likely focus on building a few accounts but trade the same way. I don't have to deal with all the prop fees. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Everyone's goal, including myself, should be to funnel as much money out of the props as you can into your own personal account and build your own personal account, period. We have 500 million in puts here. I'm going to take a look at the trace. What's the trace telling me here? You see all this exposure on the options right here? 63.55, 63.30. I mean, everything. There's a whole bunch right here. And that's one of the reasons why we're probably sticking. I think it has been to grow my IBKR accounts with TPT, but now I don't think I will do that. I'll stay concentrated on Ninja since it requires much less capital. Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that, Matt. I'll be aware of the obvious, which I'm sure you know. That, yes, they demand much less requirements for minis and micros, but make sure you've got the balance to trade minis and micros. Just because they let you trade one NASDAQ on like $78 doesn't mean you should. That type of thing. But you know that. You're a smart guy. You're a smart fella or a fart smella. One of the two. Do you do options on futures? No. So I'll trade options on SPX and futures. I'll also trade futures products, but I don't trade options on futures, which I know it kind of be confusing if you know what I'm talking about, but yeah. Yeah, I do. I educate on everything. Everything I touch is what I educate on. What I am most versed in, well versed in. Can you teach how to fly planes? I can also teach you how to fly planes. I seriously will too. If anyone has any desire to be in aviation, I'll help you out too. I've got all my notes from when I passed my pilot's license way back in the day. I've got all my notes from military school, so I could tell you everything we learned there too. A little bit of top wick off of 55, which is right near the overnight high. On down. Red candles. 23,262. What was your favorite airframe to fly? Speed, F-16. Pure maneuverability, T6. Although the F-16 was not my airframe, I did get to ride in one. And that was obviously pretty amazing. A little bit of red. 152s and 172s? Yeah. Yeah. I love the 172s. They are piling into puts here. $750 million in puts. I always wanted to do a heli for tourism near New York, but I saw school prices and it decided to be a bum. Yeah. I never wanted to get in a helicopter. Knowing what I mean, if I'm in an airplane, I mean, I have, and the engine goes out, I'm good to go. And I'm just going to put it down. But with a helicopter, all you've got is auto rotation, and even that is not the best. You about to short Palantir? Nice. We've got liquidity up to 23.3. We've got NASDAQ holding at 63.55. We have nothing real crazy here. Another bottom wick. Did you take any trades? Nope. I only took one trade this morning. That was it. One trade. Losing day for me. That's okay. I lost money today. I've had a ton of former Spec Ops guys in my practice, and they'll say all flying on the block, I feel like controlling crashing. Yo, yeah, that's 100% right. I've been in a helicopter, very precarious. Oh, nice. Frump, you're a very curious guy. I feel like you're in the shadows in the background. He's probably like some sort of Black Ops operator. I think he's Pelosi's husband. How do you do it dealing with the loss? If you held, you would have made money, but you lost. I mean, it's part of it, dude. You know? My win rate is normally between 75 and 82%. So what does that tell you? 20 to 25% of the time I'm wrong. I lose. So, I mean, it's part of it. Am I going to get all bent out of shape for taking a little bitty scalp loss? I mean, contrary to what you see on Twitter, it is actually possible to take a loss. So, to me, it's part of doing business, dude. You know, I'm not going to get bent out of shape out about it. Now, where you can get bent out of shape, especially on prop firms, if you max position size and you blow yourself out, and now you have no way to get it back because you're destroyed. So my whole thinking is, if I take one contract or so and I risk mitigate and I'm losing, cool, whatever. I'll take another trade when the time applies, and I'll be fine. But that's part of the process of trading. That's part of the process of trading. It's just going slow and grinding and small position size. And I've taken one freaking trade today, and that's it. Doing less. So, I mean, that's all it is. The crap that I talk about every day, I'm not talking about it. I'm not sitting here yapping to hear myself talk. Like, I'm telling you the things that work for me. And hopefully they work for you too, you know. I'm not the best trader, but I'm the best trader in my office right now. Because it's only me. You lost your account? That's all right, Sam. Hey, that's all right, buddy. It happens. It happens. The Pro one too, or you can DM me if you want. We can talk about it. Let me know if you need me to help you. My win rate's 40%. I'm still happy. Hey, there you go. See, the win rate doesn't matter. You know, the win rate to me doesn't matter at all. Try to gauge, even if you're someone who blows up a lot of prop accounts but are still taking payouts, think about the net income of your system. Are you still making more money than you're winning? If that's all you need to ask yourself. If you're losing 9 out of 10 trades, but you manage to make all that money back on one trade, that's fine. It's the net income. Who cares? As long as you're net profitable on anything. Business, trading. No, 100% doesn't mean 2,000 trades a day. Honestly, I still don't know how you lose it. I hold through my losses and blow things up. I make small gains and blow everything up in one shot because I refuse to cut loose. I mean, you got to stop doing it. I don't have a good way to tell you to stop doing that. You just got to stop. You're never going to be able to start making progress if you have your feet cut out from under you on all losses. You've got to have a point at which you say, I am wrong. I need to get out of the trade. Period. If you don't, then it doesn't matter what system you do. Eventually, you're going to give it all back. You're going to get wrecked. Every time I close out a losing position, I immediately feel better. Immediately. Because now I can stop thinking about it and focus on what I need to do things right. And still, it's not about getting the money back. It has nothing to do with money. It's about, is there a system? Is there a setup? Like right now, could I have taken the long off 63.26 for a 30-point rally? Yeah. But nothing was really clicking for me. So I'm just going to chill. I'm going to sip on my element and talk to you fine folks. See what's going on. You know, we smoked it the past couple of days, so. You're welcome, Technopig. 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 Anyway, that's a lot of yapping. Sometimes it weirds me out that I have a whole bunch of people listening to my voice. Just found your channel. Been looking for a community since I started trading 6 months ago. What's up, Double O Kevin? Do you like your trade shaken, not stirred? No luck yet. Do you have any training? That dad joke probably got you out of here. You're like, nope, I'm out. Do you have any training materials? Materials. I don't have any courses or anything like that. I do have a Discord that I teach in. I do have a YouTube channel that's free and open. You can go look at anything you want. But I do not have a course. I've had people come at me trying to develop a course, but I don't know. However, I think the Discord is pretty good resource. You want to come hang out with us, ask questions, talk. This is probably oversharing, as my daughter's generators would call it. No, what's up? What's up? When I first joined the server, it was a little challenging hearing you and the others celebrating their win rates, profits when I was doing the same day ticker. However, I since decided to consider your wins as inspiration for keeping at it. Instead of getting emotional about a loss, I try to keep focused and say next. Hearing your daily play-by-play has really helped me a lot to understand the price action, what I need for a strong setup, but also see what the success you're getting based on your analysis, trials, and profitable. Nice. Well, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate that. That's precisely why I've cut the cheerleading out of the server. Is there even another Discord server out there that doesn't allow cheerleading? But I do that because it's not in a good business model to allow cheerleading because of that right there. Because eventually, people are going to get sick of it and they're going to bail. Because cheerleading is unrealistic. So anyway, new high of the day here. Still going higher. Another trend up day. You're welcome, Zub Double O Kevin. Let me know if you have any questions, buddy. Come hang out with us. It's fun stuff. $63.60 about to be breached. Citadel is reporting that retail has been the net buyers in 27 of the last 28 sessions. Interesting. I think that's the first time I've heard that. Blast off here. We've now been in a trend up for about an hour. ES is up 30 points. I think the issues with servers are off topic and often political discussion in the stream. What's supposed to be about trading. It help you isn't like that. We had a little political stuff come in. I'll be honest, but we have cut that back out. I realized that it was no bueno, so we cut that back out. Still going, climbing up. 23,315 on NASDAQ, straight up. ES is about to touch, right now has touched the overnight high and still climbing right on through it. We have 800 million in calls again. The Zero-DTE options are slinging it. It's going from 100 million to 1.3 billion, back down to 300 million, back up to, I mean, they're buying and selling like it's nobody's business, like an auction. It's going. Mark me down as the investor's new prop firm. Better rules, better payouts. Papa John's. Hey, that is fantastic. If I use it, I'll give you rights. Papa John's. Hey, what if we funded our own prop firm? It's the first Discord collectively to fund our own prop firm, and we do profit sharing, kind of like the Publix grocery store. How if you're an employee of a Publix, you get profit sharing. We'll steal the FUBU saying, for us by us. Invest in our own prop. I'll lock it. That's it. I'm definitely joining the Discord now. I love it. I love it. Quick, get Mufasa back in here. That's only an OG joke. Co-op prop market firm, yeah. Look at the skew at 6360. That's all but guaranteed that's going to fill. That's all but guaranteed that's going to fill. $63.60. The people that don't have the right mindset here are so obvious from the start that don't last long. Easy to separate when we have members like we do. Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. That's why the OGs stick around and the jabronis leave. 100%. All right, they're going to get this 6360. That's the major skew here. Watch it go blit, and then after that, we'll determine. Watch it. Watch it. Stopped out of your gold trade. Beautiful. There's still some jabronis here. Yeah. There are some jabronis here still. There it goes. ES ticks are strangely weak here. 63.60 right here. They're going to fill that top side. They're going to have a temporary little fluctuation at this point. $63.60. And there it is, top wicking off liquidity. A jabroji. I love it. Thanks, Mikos. You see that? So that's that liquidity influx, man. You see that we grind up against 63.57, and now they pop it, and that right there, quick 5-6 points on ES right through 63.60. So if you're already long, you can have the confidence to kind of just hold out that long position into that little liquidity for an extra couple of points, and then roll the stop up. Once we take out that liquidity, you want to roll your stop, because if they do reject this liquidity after filling it, that's going to be your supply. So you just roll your stop up and you take your hands off. And coming up here, now we're going for 65. 65 will bring us almost to yesterday's highs. But this is straight up here, man. This is a blast off Aroni here. We're up 35 points, 36 points. But this is now the second time he has talked about tariffs on India that has led to a major rally in the market. Trump. I don't know if that's correlated, but I'm just noticed that. Because I remember last time I'm thinking, they just noticed big tariffs on India. And the market's going up, and now they just did it again. Although I don't think it's related. Smart or dumb to take off the short touching the upper liquidity? I would focus on the three criteria if you're going to do that. If you have high volume, then short it. But if not, I mean, this market has been now up grinding for an hour and 10 minutes, and it's buying through every resistance here. So you need a top wick, you need volume to show you an indication of short position. Not to mention we have $1.4 billion in zero-DTE calls on the books. The skew right now is a 63.60 that just filled. Now we have a little bit at 65. So just watch the whole conglomerate. This thing is straight up at the moment. Here's why I share that Bible verse. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, and everyone who hates it comes to only to poverty. That couldn't be more true in trading. It couldn't be more true. I don't think there's another single representation of the accuracy of that statement than there is in trading. If you chase the quick profits, you're going to get wrecked every single time on trading. Eventually, you're gonna lose it all. But if you're just slow and steady every day, you can make a living out of this. I might be a jabroni, but I supply dad jokes. Hey, dad jokes are a crucial part of the server. So, crucial part. Still going up here, straight up. We have no volume inflow just yet. We have a slight uptick, but we don't have a high volume spike. Still going. This might turn into the anti-3 candle reversal. Maybe. Maybe. Look, more liquidity here at 63.65 again. So they see them adding orders back on here. Right here, the skew is still set at 65. They're still pulling the book higher here with the order flow into the 65 area on the book. I would keep a close eye here. If they do the thing where they stick it, then they're not going to pop, lock, and drop it. They're going to stick and then... I can't think of a word. They're going to stick it, absorb it, and they're going to fly it. That's not as catchy as pop, lock, and drop, though. First day in the gym, want to throw 400 pounds and you're back injured for life. Take 3 years to train that happen. Here you go. Yep, here we come. Right here, 63.65. Absolutely. Absolutely, Kennedy. You take the tomatoes off the plant before they're ripe, you're going to get nasty tomatoes. There's so many parallels. Tell the girl you love her before she's ready, she's going to bail. $63.65. Come on. Oh my gosh. I think I got to sign up for that tier 2 if I get them dad jokes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Top tier dad jokes. 63.65 is about to absorb 728 orders right here. Watch it. Here it comes. Blah. Watch it. They just filled 64. The big old level. Climbing up. Chase the skew, baby. Chase the skew. Apple will remain largely unaffected by the tariffs targeting India. There it is. Watch. 65. Another beautiful representation of Bookmap here. 1.4 billion in calls, by the way. Still flying higher. Can you take me higher? There it is. Yahtzee. Yahtzee. Where's NASDAQ? I think they've caught up the divergence here. Almost. Divergence is closing. Now that we've filled all the topside liquidity, unless they continue to add more, we can expect a top wick somewhere around this area. But that is a monster move right there, baby. Monster move. Oh, yeah. Nope, more liquidity, 63.67. 7. What's that red area on OM's chart? That is my supply from Monday. I put that level on there Monday morning. 63.70. We rejected the living crap out of it yesterday. And now we're coming up for a retest. Is ES approaching level? Yes, it is. Yes, Jester. 100%. 1,200 on NASDAQ? Let's see. Yeah. That is a colossal amount of liquidity at 23,350. I'd play up to that. Look, still going. Straight up. Once again, massive call buying here. That's another 30 points on 20 points on NASDAQ here. 20 points on NASDAQ. It's going. Still going. What a move, dude. What a move. Watch it. Right into this 350. It's still going. It's still going. Wow, this thing is straight up. Days like today, although I don't necessarily like the prolonged trends, but they make for great scalping because it just goes, especially when the book liquidity comes on here. It's fan-freaking-tastic. 3x daily gold, beautiful. Beautiful mojo. Sorry. Bug flew in my face. Oh. 23.36. There he goes. Here it goes. Straight up 1.7 billion in calls. We have heavy skew to the upside. They are piling into this market right now, both on the order book and on the options chain. It's just going. Look, 8 right through it. 8 right through it. ES has flown. Look at that. 50-point move on ES. Straight up. Straight up. Here we go. 23,350 still going. Amazing. 3 criteria or long. That's it. That's your options right now. 3 criteria or long into 350. Still going. $340. Scalper's delight. Nice Rumpelstiltskin. Spinning that wheat into gold, baby. Spinning that wheat into gold. You can buy a 20 gauge Hatfield shotgun for $74 right now on PSA. I'm set on my wife and I started a wedding planning business headed by my wife. We already have the connections for a great photographer and a venue guy. After seeing my brother-in-law's wedding over the weekend and the disaster that came weeks leading up to the day, we realized we could do it better. They paid $6,000 for the lowest tier planner. We ended up planning their cake person, RSVP, negotiated DJ, and photographer for free. Huh. We already planned our entire wedding's friends, budgeted for them, and decorated and designed for free. We have experience. Portville just started. Nice. Nice. We thought about doing a wedding venue service because we have all this land and it's quite beautiful. We thought about doing a wedding venue. Look, they're doubling down up here. Look at this cat coming on and off. Nice, Trader J. My boy Trader J. He's killing it. He's becoming one of us. One of us. One of us. Gooble gobble. Gooble gobble. He's doing it, Peter. 23,350. Climbing up. Hey, we're past my time. I got to sign off. All right, y'all. I do have to sign off here. We're 5 minutes past. Apologize. I was getting excited. Look out for 23,350. Other than that, I will see you all in the server bright and early tomorrow morning. Remember, it's a closed YouTube day, so we'll be only for Discord members. Other than that, we'll be back for Bookmap next Wednesday for another beautiful week and another beautiful use of the order book on Bookmap. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Be safe. I'm out. See you.